Hello all, I've got some wreaths to make. Do you want to come make them with me? Let's go. So, 9 wreaths, taking about 6-7 stems of willow each. This lot is going to go into the studio to warm up a little bit. It's been outside. It's very frozen, so if I try and work it straight away now, it will just snap. These are frozen. So they need to go and warm up a bit in the studio while I cut some other bits. The bright orange willow is very good for the table centre, little table centre wreaths, because it's such good colour against white tablecloths. I will cut some deeper colour for the other wreaths as well. This makes really good outside wreaths, but I need the dark ones because they're stronger and longer and less bifurcated. You're really falling forward. Anyway, I'll take this in the studio. I'll see you in a minute. And so these straighter ones, darker colours, are less bifurcated, as you can see, and so will make better interior bases for my wreaths. So I need a few more than these. It's blooming cold out. Most of the remaining crab apples have been kind of bletted by the frost, and bletted means they've been sort of cooked, burst by the frost. So they're no good, they'll just rot. Bye-bye. But I happen to have a tree behind me, good old red sentinel, still heavy with fruit. So I'm not going to take much of it because we have had so much of these trees this year, but I'm going to take just enough for some colour on my 9 wreaths. It doesn't look very much, but you don't need much. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Everything. Now, you might not think that at this time of year there would be much new material, but look, the leaves have fallen off the hazel and suddenly we have catkins. Hazel catkins are absolutely lovely on wreaths. Here's my moss crop under the leaf litter in the woody patch along the side of the main road. So I'm going to rake up just enough for my needs today. I'm not going to rip up the whole thing. Just enough, just enough. No need for greed. Let's have some New Year's resolution. In the unlikely event I thought I'd make t-shirts, I might have one that says enough is enough and another that says no need for greed. Look, moss. Look after the invertebrates. Bossy middle-aged woman tells you what to do. And now we're up at this patch and I'm going to have a bit of a forage. We really are at the end of what we've got here. So these wreaths are going to be very, very foraged looking, but I think they will be also more beautiful for it. Goodness, it's cold up here. While we're passing, I'm here foraging ivy, but this is going to be part of next year's project. In the snow, it's so beautiful. I feel like I'm in Russia. Pushkin is going to step out from behind a tree, waxing romantic. And here we are back in the studio and it feels really warm at 5 degrees Celsius. Right, as you can see, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is mid-December, so I can't start on the long job until the dog's been walked, because otherwise it gets dark. So I'll be working later, but the dog has had an hour marching about the snow, so we're all happy. I spend my life considering the minutiae of whether it's quicker to take the dog for a walk now or later. Empty the dishwasher now or later. All of that. Anyway, I have a trolley full of lovely foliage. I've got all my willow, and the first thing I'm going to do is make all the wreaths. And then I've got my bases, and then I'm going to start dressing them. For specific how-to wreath demos, you can still download my Christmas wreath demo downloads, which are available to order on my website. So I'm not going to show you how I do them here. A, it takes too long, and B, it's not very fair on all the other people who paid to learn step by step by step. So the wreath demos are available as downloads. I'm going to make them, and I'll show you how they're coming along. Right, as usual, it's the next morning. But anyway, getting there. So what I do is all my wreaths start with a base. This one is going to be a big mossed wreath. So I'll just put that to one side. And this is what I do with most of my wreaths. Hello. So it's a willow base, and it's dressed with a garland, which is absolutely lovely. And the client is having this today. I have to say, I just, I could wear it on my head. I love them, and they're very solid. They're just it's all material gathered from the garden or dried from the summer. And, you know, they're very simple, but lovely, I think. However, hold the line caller, I'm coming back. Just gonna hang this up again. There we are. However, sometimes there isn't a budget for something so big, and the dinner I'm doing these wreaths for, there isn't room on the table for something as big as that. So I've made much smaller little willow circles, very pretty, nice colour, and they go round the candles. Can you see? Like that. And then I have literally, rather than make a whole garland, I've made a little bunch of greenery and dried material and crab apples, and I'm just attaching those bunches to these little wreaths, and they look like that. It's literally little sort of 5 or 6 pieces of material, very, very small quantity, but it packs a punch. And you can imagine on a table, this is going to be 6 tables, I think, 6 round tables in quite a big hall. And this way, they will look really, really pretty. Again, there's a budget issue. And so they're having second-hand candles. This won't matter in the slightest bit. Waste not, want not. They know. But you can imagine when these are lit, nobody will go, oh, are these second-hand candles? They will have that lovely glow. And actually brand new candles, I'm not a big fan of the brand new candle with the point, because you sort of have to wait for them to settle down, and sometimes the flame is quite small because they need to burn a bit to get more wick. So actually this is quite a good way. I always light candles before the event anyway, to make sure that they're going to burn properly. Sometimes they don't. And so if you've put candles all over the tables, and then somebody comes along to try and light them, and one of them doesn't light, I'm long gone. Doesn't work. So it's a top tip is to light candles in advance. But these little garlands, they're quite small, and but they really pack a bit of a punch. And equally, if you have a small front door, that would look really, really fantastic on a front door. It's a dinky, isn't it? Anyway, I'll show you what they look like when they're lit when I've finished. Trying to turn you off. Just once more, I will reiterate. Never leave an open flame unattended always keep candles in tall vases so that the flame cannot touch any of the drying out material from the garden. There is a fire hazard. Pay attention. Don't leave a room with candles burning without you in there. Be aware. Never leave a flame unattended. And here they are lit. You can imagine how pretty they're going to be on white tablecloths in a wood panelled room. Very simple. So each of the wreaths took 5 pieces of willow and 5 pieces of apples and holly and things. So they were a little bit fiddly to make, but really, really effective, I think. And a lovely way to have a table centre for Christmas. Right, I better box them up because I happen to know my dear client is literally champing at the bit for them, and then I'll make the last of the wreaths. How will they be transported? Well, they'll be transported like this. I've taken the candles out and tucked them around the edge because otherwise they rattle and mark the glass of the hurricane lamps. So they are tucked around the edge. The wreaths are balanced on the top. Et voila. Right, next. And here's wreath number 8. Special order for an exceptionally large door. So I've hung it on my quite wide door just to make sure it scales nicely. Hello. There's the van in the background. Not pretty. Anyway, nice wreath. But you said you were going to do 9 wreaths, I hear you cry. Well, I did. And here's ours. Very Max van der Rohe, Bauhaus, less is more. The thing is, I love the colour of the willow and I love the colour of the crab apples. And so for my Christmas wreath, for my front door, we're keeping it very simple. Hello, look, there's still snow on the thingy what's-its. There we go. That's 9 wreaths. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this clip. Please subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks we give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee. The link for coffee buying is in the blurb to all my clips. See you soon.